question is how and why I chose to get into research. Why I chose to get into research is I went back and did my master's after 16 years of being a nurse. Maybe more. I started my master's, I graduated in 81 and I went back in 1998. So that was 17 years to do my master's. And at that time, I had to do research. So that was my first entry point into nursing research. So I got my master's, and then after my master's, I came to York. And to stay at York, for me to get an academic position at York, I had to do my PhD. So to do my PhD, you have to do original research. So and then when I got an academic position, to stay in it, you have to do more research.
Yeah.
So it was more just to move up in the career path.
Right.
I had to do research in nursing.
Right.
To move up the ladder.
Yes.
Kind of thing. And then to get tenure and promotion here at York, you have to have research and funding. So it was mostly that. And then after a while, you get a passion for it.
Right.
And you want to see the outcomes. You want to see how, you get a problem or a research question, and you want to see how you're going to design the study. And then what are the outcomes, what are the results, and how it impacts, evidence.
Right.
So that's how I got into research. So the second question is what sparked my interest. I don't have a real focus in research as such. Like some people will say they're doing pediatric research or oncology research or,
other cancer research.
Like that, stroke, something, dementia. Mine is more, when I'm on a team, I'm more the quantitative person because I'm do the stats, I do the statistics. And then I'm also a program evaluator, so if there's a big project, a research project, I would evaluate it. On a smaller scale, I do fear of recurrence of cancer with my colleague at McGill. She used to be here at York, but she's now at McGill. So we're still doing that. In fact, we're putting in a CIHR grant next week, so we're writing it up. And it's fear recurrence of breast cancer. So we've been doing work on that for about 6 years now. The third question is the major contributions nursing researchers provide to their area of research interest and how nursing has changed the way the research area is understood. Well, major contributions. All of us, we either make contributions to, it's all evidence-based, evidence-informed practice. That's one of our majors. So whether our practice is in education or at the bedside or in policy, all of the research is going into some sort of hoping for some change.
Right.
And to improve healthcare.
So the end goal is to implement it as a...
Well, it depends. As you know from your research course, there's practical significance and clinical significance.
Yes.
And statistical significance. Practical and clinical are the same. I meant statistical. I mean, a researcher, when they publish an article, they may say, yes, we have significant findings. But then when you as a nurse look at the data, you'd say, maybe this would not work. This has no clinical significance in my practice, right? So, but in the long run, we would like to make changes to the healthcare, health education, nursing education, nursing policy, community engagement, whatever the focus is. What advice would you give nursing students who would like to get into research? So I'm the Associate Director of Research.
Right.
So for the past few years, I have been asking nursing undergraduate students to volunteer if they would like their time, if they would like to work with nursing faculty here.
Yeah.
So we, so when they give me a list, I would make a list and then I would give it to the faculty. You know, here I have a student. Are you interested? So I would try to match them up based on their interest.
Right.
So that's one way, and also another way is. If you go online and look at the names of the researcher, beside their names or their research interests, so if there's something that you're interested in, their program of research, you could approach them,
Right.
and see if there's something you can do. The other way also is at South Lake. Some of the hospitals does have a nursing research kind of department. They call it either professional practice or innovation.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're near a hospital, you could always approach that division and ask, you know, if there's something you could do. One of our nursing faculty is a nurse researcher at South Lake, and she has taken many, many students under her wing and mentored them into research.
Okay.
Right? So that's a couple. Those are two ways, either through here in nursing or through the hospital itself. Or even if you like community research, you go to community health centers. If you like, you know, many healthcare institutions do research. So you could go through there. And
also, I think through RNAO, you can also, they have research, I think, as well, right? RNAO.
RNAO has an interest group.
Right.
A nursing research interest group. And so you could do it that way. Sigma Theta Tau, like we have honor society in nursing. So when students are close to graduating, we look at their list. We look at their GPA, and we organize them into. We take the upper third, and then we invite them to be on the honor society.
Okay.
Now, in that honor society, there is a research foci too, and you could apply for small grants. So let's say now you get a job at an institution and you want to do some research. You could get some small funds through Sigma if you belong to the Honor Society. Okay. You could also get small funds at RNAO and engage in research and then form teams. When you graduate also, depending on the healthcare institution, the professional practice team they do research, so it's about your own motivation. So if you see a research problem or a clinical problem when you are working, you start, the whole research process, the literature review, see what's happening, and then you kind of go through, form your team, speak to the professional practice person, speak to the nurse researchers there, and see how you could engage in research.
Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting that I'm really, really happy about this, that nursing researchers nursing students are interested in research.
Hopefully we'll be researchers one day too.
Yeah, it would be great. It would be great.